So, I've already gone through who I think should be the WNBA All-Star starters for this season. Next up, the reserves. And this one's really tough because the way it's listed on the WNBA website, how it goes is there are 3 guard spots, 5 front court spots, and those last 4 spots can go to players of any position. And if, quite frankly, if I'm just being honest, the guard spot is a lot deeper than the bigs, especially for this season in particular. So I guess we'll just get into it, and I'll start with the guards. Now, just a reminder, or I mean, I'm not even sure if I should say it because you need to watch my starters video. Nah, but the starters should be for the guards Paige, Ryan Howard, Olivia Miles, and Caitlin Clark. And even if, before in that video, I was mulling over putting Paige on the team, but Paige is going to miss the All-Star game probably. So, in which case, one of those 4 players is going to be the injury replacement. One of those 4 other players is going to be the injury replacement. So, it doesn't really matter. So, those starters, like I said, are going to be Ryan, Paige, Cece, and Liv. Now, for the reserve guards, I think I'll start out with Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams has kind of been having a fairly under the radar, really good season. And the passing playmaking has been there as she was the point guard in previous seasons. And the efficiency, even if the true shooting I don't think is actually that crazy. And that's mostly because she doesn't get to the free throw line that much. But the effective field goal percentage is awesome, which is crazy taking into the consideration the fact that, Courtney Williams is one of the most prolific mid-range shooters. That's the shot she's looking for the most. She freaking pulls up for those long twos on fast breaks. So the fact that, let me double check what the numbers are right now. So right now she's averaging just under 16 a game with 4 assists on 46% from the field, 40% from 3 on 3 attempts. Like I said, only shoots 1 free throw a game at 82%. So the true shooting, I'll double check what the true shooting is right now, but the effective field goal percentage, if you round up, is 51%, which is nuts. That's crazy. Yeah, the true shooting is actually 52%, which is kind of well below league average. We'll ignore that for the purposes of this video. We'll ignore that. But yeah, like I said, Courtney Williams, she's been filling it up as a scorer with good efficiency, especially via taking a lot of those mid-range jumpers as her 2-pointers. Something popped up. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Courtney Williams has been shooting 40% on 10 to 16 and 47.6% on 16 to the 3-point line. She's a midi demon. She's going crazy. Like I said, true shooting percentage, effective field goal percentage, heck yeah. And like I said, secondary playmaking, playing alongside Olivia Miles, I think she has been really, really good and is deserving of one of those guard spots. Another one of those guard spots I want to give to Kelsey Mitchell. And Kelsey Mitchell has been, once again, a really, really efficient guard. The defense, the passing playmaking, depends on the game, really. Of course, people do be getting off the Kelsey Mitchell don't pass jokes, which sometimes it's kind of true. Sometimes it's like, hey, Kelsey Mitchell passing the ball. But it's never to a crazy extent. But right now she's averaging about 21 and a half points on, oh wow, 62% true shooting if you round up. I didn't know her true shooting got that high. I thought it was still hovering around like the 59-ish percent. I mean, we are still only like 20 or so or less games into the season, so I guess it makes sense that like 1 or 2 games can lift the true shooting that much. But yeah, uber efficient 21 a game player, that's valuable. That's really valuable. And so even if the defense isn't there, even if the passing playmaking can be lacking, she does put ball in hoop at efficient level, and that's valuable. I don't know what else to say, really. And the last guard I'll say is Sonia Citron. Sonia Citron has had increased ball handling opportunities. Of course, the 3-point shot, it did regress, which, I mean, some people did expect, actually. And granted, 40% was a very high bar for a rookie season. But either way, even if the 3-point shot isn't falling at the same clip it was last season, she's actually more efficient than she was last season, in part because in large part due to the fact that she is a way better 2-point scorer. And I think you could see it in the game. She's a way better shot creator, ball handler, mid-range, floater opportunities. Actually, let me double check that with the basketball reference shooting percentages. Yep, it's correct. She's better from 0 to 3. She's better from 3 to 10. She's better from 10 to 16. She's not better from 16 to the 3-point line, but she only takes 0.2% of her shots from there, so it's not like, oh no, Citron's missing her long middies. That ain't good, but it's like, you don't take them, you don't have to worry about the percentage that much, really. And then 28.6 from the 3-point line, which does need to be better. You do expect that to be better, but still, the efficiency is absolutely there. She's still getting better and progressing as a playmaker and passer, progressing as a ball handler, and she's putting up 18.6 points per game on, what was that, 63.5 true shooting? Dang, son. Where'd you get 63.5 true shooting? Oh, also, I forgot to mention, what was she increased free throw rate? Yeah, her free throw rate rose from like 31% last year to now 61% this year, which is manifested in her more than doubling her free throw attempts. Last year, she averaged 3.43 free throw attempts. This year, she's averaging 7 attempts and making them at an 89% clip. I know the free throw discourse is never fun, but once again, it's a skill to get to the free throw line. You get to the line 7 times a game, guess what? That's good. You make those free throws at an 89% clip, guess what? That's good. That's efficient. You do that stuff, you get more efficient. So shout out to Sonia Citron being an efficient. Yeah. So I'm giving that last spot to Sonia Citron for being an efficient scorer while also improving as a playmaker and passer. Now on to some of those front court spots. I'm gonna run through 2 of these names because these were 2 names that we were mulling over in the last video if they should be starters, and that is Jessica Shepard and Jonquel Jones. They were just the last 2 names off. So yeah, they're on the team. Next, I want to go to Kiki Iriafin. Kiki has been putting up, and also, I mean, they are on probably just because it's the Washington Mystics, but I think Kiki has been putting up an under talked about good season. But yeah, she's been averaging 15 and a half a game. She's been cleaning glass, got 9.2 rebounds per game, averaging 2.5 offensive rebounds a game. Her field goal percentage increased last year from 48.8 to 52.1. So increase in efficiency, slight uptick in scoring. Getting to the line a bit more, does need to shoot a better percent from the free throw line. She is only shooting 61% if you round up on 5.7 attempts per game. So you want to see a bit more uptick in shooting better at the free throw line. But she's just basically she does basically everything you want out of a big. Cleans glass, solid defender, good play finisher, an inside presence. That's basically everything you want. I think she's had a super solid season, and I think that's deserving of one of the front court all-star spots. Another player, and this is another name that I mentioned on the maybe should be a starter, but it was the first name off for the starters list. Getting to her now. AT, once again, not the most popular player, not on a very good team, probably did regress as a player. Even still, once you get a bit further, the front court spots do get a bit questionable. And even then, it's like AT's still been a good passer playmaker, still been their best option for the Phoenix Mercury, which maybe isn't saying much, but I still think AT's been a good player, even if even if they've been losing more, even if her scoring isn't to the necessary level for the team success that the Mercury want, and maybe some defensive regression. Even still, though, her name needs to belong here because she is still a good player and better than a bunch of the other front court players in the league. So, out of the 5 reserves, I've mentioned Jessica Shepard, Jonquil Jones, Kiki Iriafin, Alyssa Thomas. There is one more necessary front court spot, and this is where it really gets dicey because this is where you run into some like very interesting cases. I'll start out with Nneka Ogwumike. Nneka absolutely has accounting stats. She has the efficiency. She doesn't quite have the winning, and the best player on that Sparks team was Kelsey Plum, who, like I said, is going to be injured for the All-Star game. Not to mention, Nneka has also regressed as a defender. Then we also have Dearica Hamby on that same Sparks team where it's like, I don't know. I don't really know. Not to mention, Dearica Hamby as a defender is, I don't know either. Um, you also have a Shakira Austin, who I don't know if it's like discourse on do the Mystics deserve 3 All-Stars. But Shakira Austin has been playing at a good solid level. Good defender. Sometimes the turnovers though, as attempting to be better in the playmaking and passing, can be a bit also the scoring efficiency isn't the craziest level. So that's also like a very I don't know case. And then we have Dominique Malonga, and I think if Dominique Malonga had played more games, I think she'd be one of the easier spots to throw in here for the reserves. The unfortunate reality is that Dom has only played 12 games, and most of the other front court players have played at least like 17 games, like 17, 18, 19. I think there's one player I think I saw who only played 15 games. Let me double check that. Yeah, I mentioned Kiki, who has only played 15 games on the season thus far. But even then, I feel like 15 and 12. I mean, it's a 3 game difference, but you kind of, those differences matter more when the season is shorter, like I said in the previous video. Um, so I'm, whoosh, whoosh. I might go back to that last front court spot. This is what I meant by you go deeper into those front court spots and it's a bit more I don't really know. I don't really know. So going back to one of those positions where anyone can be on the team, I'm gonna put Alicia Gray. I think Alicia Gray has not had the same season that she has had last season, but she is still a good defender. Still, obviously, the off ball movement and being defended as a really good 3 point shooter is valuable to the team, especially because she is the leading scorer on the team, or maybe not after the last game against the Storm. Either way, 1 or 2, they're basically Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard are basically averaging the same amount of points per game. Still good efficiency, still a good defender, and the Dream are one of the best teams in the league. And I think it's especially fine for the Dream and the Lynx to have 3 All-Stars on their team because these 2 teams are amongst the top of the league. They are really, really good. Going on to a team that will have another All-Star on that same team. For 2, it will be Jackie Young, the Las Vegas Aces. Jackie Young had a very weird start to the season because she was dealing with stuff in her personal life, but basically she turned it around fairly quickly after that and been back to Jackie Young levels with the efficiency, and she has improved as a playmaker and passer. I forget what she's averaging, like assists per game, but she's amongst the top, like 10 or something probably. So better playmaker passer, still really, really efficient. So Jackie Young has been really, really good there. And then I want to give a spot to Marina Mabry, who has been really good with the Toronto Tempo, especially now that Brittany Sykes injured, Kiki Rice injured early. The Tempo, I think, have also just dealt with a plethora of players being in and out the lineup. So the Tempo deserve representation, especially because they are one of the teams fighting for a playoff spot. Marina Mabry dropped 53 points. So that's like, wow. Can we really leave a person who scored 53 points off the All-Star team? Is that really possible? I don't think so. So Marina Mabry is going to be one of those players on the team. And she's been also just really, really efficient, I think. So she's been at 21 a game on 61% true shooting. So not the craziest true shooting like we saw from Sonia Citron, but I think 61. So she's right there with Kelsey Mitchell, also averaging like over 20 a game. So yeah, Marina Mabrey should be one of those spots on the All Star reserves. So that leaves us back to that last front court spot and that last any spot for point guard or forward. I think at this point we're out of guards that I want to give heavy consideration to. You could throw in Chelsea Gray, you could throw in Kayla McBride. I've heard her also maybe be for one of those reserve spots. Um, but overall, I'm not too crazy. Oh yeah, I guess you could also throw Veronica Burton in, although I know VB will never have the great counting stats. Um, but the efficiency issues for VB definitely have been there, even if she is absolutely a four general and she is one of the best defensive players and certainly one of the best defensive guards out there. You could throw her in there now that I'm really thinking about that. Hmm. I kind of did forget about VB for putting her into that last spot. I don't know. It still hasn't been the same as what she was looking like very early into the season. Like I said, that last front court spot, I think I'm gonna go with NECA for the last front court spot. And like I said, the Sparks aren't doing so hot, but NECA has been a really good and efficient offensive player. She hit the game winner on the 30th anniversary. We've got to give her credit there. But yeah, that last front court spot is a little. It's very just because yeah. Elite analysis, by the way. But it's like if Dom had played like three-ish more games, like basically 15 games, same as Kiki. Maybe if she even played 14 games. Still though, 12 as opposed to I mean, you could give it to Dom, honestly. Or yeah, you could give it to Dom. I think uh, is that a hot take to give it to Dom, even though she's only played 12 games on the season thus far? Uh the Storm, they won two in a row. They're on the up. They're on the up and up. So who am I really deciding? Because I think I am gonna give one of those. I'm gonna give that last front court spot to NECA. In which case, that last any position spot is between like a Chelsea Gray, a Veronica Burton, Dominique Malonga, Shakira Austin. Am I forgetting any other crazy names? Frick it, bro. Frick it. It's my ballot. It's my list. Why not? I'm gonna put Dom there. Why not? Why not? Honestly. The production's there. I think the efficiency's there. Let me double check. It's 17 a game on 56 true shooting, so not the most efficient of stuff. Um, hmm. Does that change my opinion? Honestly, no. Honestly, no. Honestly, no. Does that change my opinion factoring in that she's only played 12 games as opposed to some of the other players that have played more though is the real question. Uh See, these are the real hard decisions, man. These are the real hard decisions. Throw Dom on there. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. But I think I'll just throw Dom in there. So I guess I need to recap who I have on my All Star, my full All Star. Oh, full what, brother? My full All Star ballot. Nah, I won't do my full All Star ballot. I already named the starters friggin' earlier in the video. My full reserve list will be Courtney Williams, Kelsey Mitchell, Sonia Citron, Jessica Shepard, Jonquil Jones, Iki Iriafin, Alyssa Thomas, Nneka Ogwumike, Alicia Gray, Jackie Young, Marina Mabrey, and Dominique Malonga. That's my All Star ballot. Yeah.